Marshall is a little town on the edge of Illinois, housing around 4,000 people. It is exactly what you imagine a small American town to be, surrounded by cornfields, religious, a little boring. I lived on top of a hill in the middle of the woods. At night you could hear the creaking forest and coyote howls. There were 3 Marshall, quote-unquote, main attractions within walking distance of my house. First was Big Crick, a little creek with a bridge running over it smothered in graffiti where people would mess around and ride 4-wheelers. Secondly was Mackey's Cemetery, or Hatchet Man Cemetery. It was a tiny cemetery with tombstones dating back to the 1800s. There are many iterations of the Hatchet Man legend, but I'll tell you the first one repeated to me. In the most simple way possible, there was this man. This man somehow had his head cut off by a hatchet. Whether he cut it off himself, or someone did it for him, is unknown and up for debate. But one way or another, it was chopped off completely. Whack, done. According to Marshallonians, this headless man still roams around Hatchet Man Cemetery, carrying his hatchet, searching for his missing head. The legend goes that if you touch the fence at the back of the cemetery at midnight, he'll chop off your head. Being someone who has a weird fascination with cemeteries, I'd been to Hatchet Man Cemetery during the day many times. It really isn't that creepy. I'm sure at night it's another story, but as far as I know, no one has gotten their head chopped off to date. The house is another story. The third Marshall main attraction I live near, I didn't know about until I was around 14 or 15. My friend Taylor and I were bored one day and decided to walk through the woods. We'd gotten pretty far, and the sun was starting to set when we found the house. It was extremely old and completely abandoned. I went back a few times with Taylor and another friend, Ashlyn. We even went inside where it was bare, empty. There was glass and empty beer cans littered everywhere. A hole without a ladder in the ceiling peeked into the attic. There was a well outside. We didn't think too much of it. It was just a place to go. Something to do. When I was about 15, I made a new friend. She moved around a lot and had a lot of stories to tell. I told her about the abandoned house in the woods, and we decided to go. We made this makeshift ladder out of old planks and wood laying around to get into the attic. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but that's what we did. When we finally got up, we sat at the edge because I was too scared. Partly thinking we'd fall through, and partly because it was just plain creepy. We sat there for a while when she said she thought she saw something shadowy sitting in the corner. I looked back and couldn't see anything. I wasn't sure if she was lying about what she saw or not, but I wasn't going to sit there and find out, so we both scrambled down. The second time we went back, we filmed it. She wanted to catch the shadowy thing we saw on camera. On the way there, we didn't seem nervous at all, just laughing and joking. Once we got there, I was too scared to get close, because if this thing was real, I couldn't see it. So I handed her the camera.
You're the brave one.
Shut up. My hands are shaking so bad right now.
Go.
Run.
Oh my god, you honestly didn't see that?
No.
Oh my god. I was standing like by the side of the house with the camera going,
Yeah.
and oh my god. I put the video camera there and I could see something crawling out of the attic.
Yeah, that's how I ran away screaming.
That day passed, and we didn't think too much of it for a long time. Then, at my 16th birthday party, a bunch of my friends and I decided to go back.
The people who's going to the forest.
That's when Brittany saw something. As soon as we got close to the house, she said she didn't feel right, like something was wrong. She even refused to go near the house and swore there was something creepy inside. I was pretty convinced that there was something weird about this house at that point. Fast forward to college freshman year. I'm writing a story for a creative writing class, and it's around Halloween, so I decide I want to write a fiction story about Hatchet Man. I go online and do some research. The first link that pops up is a geocaching site. I click on it, and they're talking about Hatchet Man Cemetery and the house you can see from the road where several murders apparently took place. They said that a man used to live in that house. He went crazy, killed his family, chopped them up, and threw them into the well outside the house. I looked through more sites, and others claimed the same, saying that the paranormal experiences there could be fake, but the murders that took place there are true. I haven't been back to that house since.